Neat. All right, cool. Let's do that. And now you guys can see my text messages too. So that's cute. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Super. All right. So you can see here on the, Cruchet's coming in. Look at that. Ty doesn't come to these things. All right. So here's what the golden ticket looks like. We have a bunch of fill in the blanks. We have a word bank here off on the side. We're going to try to go through as much of this as possible. So I'll cross off things as we use them. So the blank branch is made up of both houses of, this is the legislative branch, I guess. It's made up of both houses of what? Come on.
Congress.
Congress. There we go. And I'm dragging with the cursor in PDF right now, so it's going to look messy, but I'll try to be legible. All right. Boom. All right. We're off to a good start. It is covered in article blank of the Constitution. It's the longest article in the Constitution. Which one is it? You see you have some numbers over here on the side.
2.
Not 2. It's the first one. It's Article 1. Read those pocket constitutions. Article 1, it's a big one. Legislative branch, we have both houses of Congress. It is covered in Article 1 of the Constitution. House members, how long do they serve? Look at the numbers.
2.
2-year terms. Yep. Members of the House serve a 2-year term. I think that was Ty. That a baby. Okay. Well, members of the Senate, how long do they serve? Look at the word.
6.
They serve a 6-year term. Bingo, bango, bongo. They serve a 6-year term. All right. We'll cross that one off. Okay. There are blank members in Congress, this number in the House, and this number in the Senate. So how many members total in Congress between the House and the Senate?
100.
Well, look at the numbers you have available to you. There are blank members in Congress. Again, remember, Congress is the House and the Senate combined.
535.
There's 535. Who's coming in? Austin, welcome. 535. Okay, neat. How many serve in the House and how many serve in the Senate?
100 in the Senate.
Yep.
That'd be 435 in.
Okay. Why are there 100 in the Senate, Forrest?
Each state gets 2.
No matter what?
Yep, no matter what.
No matter what. Membership in the House is based on what? Who remembers?
Population.
State population. So how many people does North Dakota send to the House?
One.
Just one. Uno. All right. So again, House and the Senate, we call that bicameralism, right? We do it so we divide up the powers of Congress. We give the larger states more say-so in the House. We give states equal say-so in the Senate. Again, that goes back to like what's called the Great Compromise. And both houses have separate powers and different things that they can do. All right. So is it fair to say that a population count affects the House more than it affects the Senate? Is that a fair statement?
I think so.
Yes. So every 10 years, what is held? Every 10 years, a blank is taken. What's the blank?
Census.
Census. Sorry for my spelling. I know it's going to bother some of you. If I could do this on the iPad, I would, but I can't record my screen. So haven't figured it out yet. A census. Every 10 years, blank is taken, and then blank and blank occurs in the House. Oh boy. Blank and blank.
Redistricting, isn't it?
Yeah, redistricting, I think, would be one. And what's the other one? Redistricting, right? Where you redraw the congressional districts.
Reapportionment.
Reapportionment, right? Those would be the two. right? Reapportionment just refers to totaling up how many members of the House each state should have. Again, remember the permanent size of the House is capped at 435. And so when it's examined, like when states need another seat, what has to happen? Do other states lose seats? Can that happen in the House?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So we call that reapportionment. Man, this is tough. Reapportion. Okay. Sorry, I didn't spell out the entire word, but you guys get it. Cross it off our list. Okay. So every 10 years, a census is taken, then redistricting and reapportionment occurs in the House. Often voting districts in the blank can be blanked to give advantages to a party or candidate.
The House.
Often districts in the House, sure. I feel like we're playing a Wordle right now. I kind of like it. Districts in the House can be blank to give advantages to a party or candidate. What's the blank? What do we got?
Gerrymandered.
Gerrymandered, yes. Does gerrymandering affect the Senate?
No.
No, right? Because every state gets 2 no matter what. Jerry. I know my handwriting, like right now, this is making me happy because my handwriting, like on this computer screen, is about as good as Ty's in real life. No offense, Ty.
I knew that was coming.
I mean, it's about as legible as Ty's handwriting. So if you guys have never seen Ty's handwriting, ask him to see it sometime. He likes it. He takes great.
Forrest is worse.
You know
I
what?
am not. I am not worse.
I think we
Yours
need
is-
to have a hand write off and then we'll vote on it in the Rojo. And
Well, then I'd actually try.
what's that?
I'd actually try then, but
No,
I
well,
just scribbled normally.
I have your guys, I have all of your old tests.
Oh
I-
boy.
I can just
Yeah,
put
let's pull up the test.
I can just put
Pull
your
up the test.
I can just put your FRQ side by side and say which one's better.
Oh, those aren't good because I got to write so much.
Well, it's a more
That's part of the game.
part of the game.
Part of the game.
Part of the game. All right, let's get going. Every 10 years, census is taken, redistricting and reapportionment occurs in the House. Often voting districts in the House can be gerrymandered to give advantages to a party or candidate. The Supreme Court ruled in blank that the courts can get involved in redistricting if needed.
Majority.
I think that we're looking for a case here, Wiz. To give advantages to the party, the Supreme Court ruled in this case. I think it's a case that the courts can get involved in redistricting if needed.
Baker v. Carr.
That's Baker v. Carr, right? One person, one vote. We talked about that. I'm just gonna call this Baker, if you guys are cool with that. They ruled in Baker. The courts can get involved, right? One person, one vote. The districts have to be substantially equal in population, right? That's Baker. Boop. Okay. That the courts can get involved in redistricting if needed. The court banned blank gerrymandering in the case blank.
Racial.
Yes, racial. The districts cannot be based solely on race. Racial. Sorry, I need to make that look like an A. Otherwise, if somebody goes back and watches the video, they're going to get mad. Racial gerrymandering in the case. What's the other case involving gerrymandering?
Shavi Reno.
Yes, the Shaw case, right? Involving the fine state of, anybody remember?
I don't know.
North
North Carolina.
North Carolina, come on and raise up. Okay. That's a P.D. Pablo song. If you guys ever heard of P.D. Pablo, that's hip hop from back in the day. The court banned racial gerrymandering in the case Shaw versus Reno, but said race can still be considered by state legislatures when drawing lines. Blank usually win re-election because of money, visibility, and constituent services. What's the blank here? The first blank. This blank.
Incumbents.
Yes, the incumbent, the current office holder. The incumbent. I'm just going to abbreviate for now. The incumbent. Boop. Okay. Incumbents usually win re-election because of money, visibility, and constituent services, which are also known as blank.
Ranking sounds right.
Not franking, because franking goes here. They usually also have franking goes here. Franking refers to sending mail for free. They usually have blank. Which are also known as
Are they usually the majority leader?
They
I feel
could.
like the wording doesn't sound right, but
Yeah, let's come back to that one for now. Okay, let's just move on. We'll come back to that one and see what else we come up with, right? Classic fill in the blank, classic AP. We're just gonna move on and come back to it. Okay. The blank party in each chamber appoints the blank chairs and members. Which party has more power? The one with more seats, right? So what do we call that party?
Majority.
Majority. Ty, I wish you were here to do this for me because I'd like to see how neat your handwriting is using a trackpad and a mouse.
Ooh.
Good luck, right? No
It
thanks.
can't get a lot worse, I hope.
I mean, maybe even gets better.
No way.
No chance. Okay, the majority party in each chamber appoints the blank chairs and members. What do we got there? Again, when we divide Congress up into smaller bodies, those smaller bodies are called what?
Committee.
Committees, right? So let's go committee. And we'll just abbreviate, make people watch the video if they want to see it. The leader of the House is called the blank leader. Excuse me. The leader of the House is called the, who's at the most important spot in the House? Who has the most important job?
Majority.
More important. More important. The leader of the House. The Speaker of the House. It's a speaker. The leader of the Senate is called the what? Who's the
Majority
most
leader.
majority leader? Yes, they're the most important person in the Senate. Just gonna abbreviate. Maybe if I try cursive, it'll get better. Like Ty. Ty tries to write in cursive. Majority leader.
Just by signature.
Yeah, I know. It looks good though. All bills must originate in the House. So again, the House has what's called appropriation power. So any bill that has to do with the raising of what? The raising of
Tax and revenue.
Tax revenue.
Yeah, we call those bills of origination or bills of appropriation. So I'm just gonna go T and R, tax and revenue. Must originate in the House. The House blank committee gives bills guidelines for floor debate and amendments. Again, remember everything in the House is much more tick tock, right? Much faster.
Casework or close. Oh wait, is that casework?
It's not casework. It's a certain committee. The House blank committee.
Rules committee.
That's a rules committee. I'm just going to go R period com. House Rules Committee gives bills guidelines for floor debate and amendments. Most bills die in committee. This is getting kind of strange. That's a C. That's a period. All right. I think you have rules. I think you have rules and committee on here twice. So let's see. In the Senate, members can blank to delay the vote. What's that word?
Filibuster.
Filibuster. Go. Filibuster to delay the vote. A blank motion must be called to stop the senator from talking. They have to vote on a time limit.
A cloture. Cloture.
Closure. Sorry. And that's a T. Okay. So the only word we have left is casework. Money, visibility, and constituent services, which are also known as casework. That sounds right. Man, Ty, I'm probably giving you a run for your money here on penmanship.
I finish all the words out at least.
Hey, I know you do. I don't. All right. And close casework. All right, cool. Any questions on the House and the Senate? While we're on this topic, how about we talk special powers of the House and the Senate? Other than bills having to originate in the House that deal with the raising of taxes and revenue, what's another power that's unique to the House? I'll give you a hint. This process has to start there.
Lawmaking.
Not necessarily. A bill can start in the House or the Senate. I'll give you an additional hint. This has been done to a former President Trump twice.
Impeachment.
Impeachment has to start in the House. Okay. So really between the raising of revenue and the starting or beginning of the impeachment process, those are really the only two, say, special powers of the House. Okay. The Senate, that's where the impeachment process continues, right? Where they have the trial. What are some other unique powers to the Senate? If I become president someday and I want to make Forrest a Supreme Court justice, who confirms that?
Senate.
Senate. If I want to make Elise my Secretary of State, Senate confirms it. If I want to make Ty the Secretary of Agriculture, Senate confirms that. So those are some other big ones. The Senate has confirmation power. If I'm the president and I want a treaty ratified, the Senate with a 2/3 vote has to ratify it, right? So the Senate has more unique powers than the House. When it comes to like a war declaration or something like that, the Constitution is not super specific about that. Generally, both the House and the Senate would vote on it, but there have been times where only the Senate has voted on it. Again, the Senate has less people, so maybe it's easier to get a majority vote, I guess, depending on. Okay, so let's see. Continue on to this next page. All right. So this still is Congress. We'll see if we can work through this one our last little bit of time and then probably end here for now. This gets into congressional powers a little bit more. So we've kind of already have, I don't know. We have foreshadowed this a little bit. Powers belonging exclusively to Congress are called what? They are the ones that are.
Is it reserved?
It's not reserved because those ones are just set aside for the Senate. States only are called reserve powers.
Is it
What'd you say?
implied?
I don't think that's the one they're looking for.
Concurrent.
Concurrent means they're shared. This is federalism here, right? So we'll use reserved. The only other one that fits is kind of near the middle of the word bank.
Oh, it's enumerated, or is
It's
it?
enumerated. Yeah. It is. So those that belong to Congress are called the enumerated or the express powers. Enumerated is a long word, so I will abbreviate. Okay. They share concurrent powers, right? Ty touched on that. And the state's powers are called reserved. Okay. Congress also has blank powers thanks to the clause, also known as the elastic clause. There's a different word that was already mentioned that fits here in the first blank. An elastic clause says Congress has powers, all powers, has the power to make all powers that are blank and blank.
Necessary and proper.
Yep. Yep. So we'll just abbreviate. We'll say N and P. And again, those powers are not spelt out in the Constitution. So like there's nothing in there about having an Air Force or building atomic bombs or anything like that. So if it's not said out loud, those powers are then
Implied.
they're implied. Word up. Okay. So again, this is federalism at its finest. The states hate implied powers because it takes some of their lawmaking authority away from them, they feel. They're implied. All right. And then this clause guarantees that all federal laws superior to states when in conflict. There's one word that fits greatly here.
Supremacy.
Supremacy clause. I will abbreviate that again. Call it the SUP clause. Supremacy, right? All laws created by the Constitution are superior to that of the states. McCulloch versus Maryland. Okay. The next little bit looks like it gets into, oh boy, looks like it gets into the president a little bit. All right, let's see if we can finish this up in our last little bit of time here, and then we'll call the night. The president of the United States is the blank and blank of the military. Commander and
Commander or commander-in-chief.
Commander in chief. Commander Chief, yes, they're the head of the military, whether they have military experience or not. Again, that's becoming a lot less common with politicians. At one point in time, you had to be a general to be a president. It seemed like it that way, at least. And the head of the what branch? What branch is the president the head of?
Executive.
They are. I'm going to tell you guys what, having to drag this thing around, it's going to fire up my arthritis in my fingers. Worth it. All of you passed your AP exam. I don't care how bad my arthritis gets.
You gotta throw some text box in there next year.
Yeah, I don't know how on a PDF. I can make comments.
On the edit side, it says add text and images.
Where?
We can see it right under the blue
This one?
A.
Oh, it's gonna make me download it again though.
Yeah, Forrest said there's that little A cutout.
This one?
Maybe.
Oh my gosh. Please. Is it gonna let me? It's not gonna let me. See, now I have the spinny wheel.
I think if you just type, it'll go there where your cursor is.
You think so?
Try it.
Oh boy, please work. All right, let's see if it works. President's the head of the executive branch. Executive branch workers are oftentimes referred to as
Bureaucracy.
see what's happening now? Well, they're called bureaucrats. Is it working? Yes, kind of. Close enough. They're called bureaucrats. And they help to blank federal rules and regulations.
Enforce.
Yep, that's the one. Don't know if it's working. Oh, this is the best. Thank you, guys. Why didn't you tell me this hours ago?
I feel like it kind of self-explanatory with the A around a box.
Thanks, Ty. I'll remember that the next time you need something from me. All right. Blank is a large, complex organization of appointed officials. Elise, which one fits here? Not bureaucrats, but
Bureaucracy.
thank you. Yes. Spinny wheel of death now. All right. Yes, it's the bureaucracy. It's the bureaucracy. Now I can't see my page. Escape. Maybe. See what we got. Where's my stuff? Text box, type text. AP review, Miss Haley. Yep. Thank you. Bye. I think it's working. Can you guys see it on your screen or no?
No.
Not yet. Let's see. Type text here. I've now.
Yeah, we're good now.
There it goes. Bureaucracy is a large, complex organization of appointed officials. The president is also the chief of blank of the U.S. presidential vetoes. Chief of what? Is also the chief. What fits here? The chief. I'll start typing it. What fits from our list?
Is a diplomat.
And head of state. Yep. Diplomat and head of, there it goes. Head of state. Presidential vetoes are often or not often overridden. They are not often overridden. What does it take to override a presidential veto?
Doesn't it have to go back through Congress?
Yep, it takes a 2/3 vote by both houses of Congress to override it. So not very often does that happen. All of the president's treaties and appointments must be approved by which house of Congress? We just talked about it.
Senate?
It is the Senate. It is the Senate. Assuming that this loads. Maybe. See, now this is why I'm not using the text box. This is slow. There. Well, I typed an E, I promise. All right. All blank are assigned to a blank. And for discussion. Okay. What's this word? All what?
Bills?
Bills. They're assigned to a, in Congress, they get assigned to a what?
Subcommittee.
Committee. All bills are assigned to a committee. And for discussion. Well, let's go back to this. Let's cross off what we use, shall we?
Is it just signed?
Well, let's see. Let's cross off what we used. All right. So we used bills. Oh, of course, this is going to happen now. 5 minutes left. Okay. My fingies are hurting. All right. Bills. Bureaucrats we used. Bureaucracy we used. Not use closure again. We used committee once. We used diplomat and head of state. We used enforce. I think we used Senate, didn't we? We used Senate. It would be a
Would
committee.
it be subcommittee?
Yeah, it would be committee and subcommittee is what it is. Of course, now this isn't going to work. Committee and subcommittee. We'll see if I can get this to go here in the last 4 minutes. Yeah, we'll type it. All bills are assigned to a committee and a subcommittee. Have it on there twice for discussion and
Would it be filibuster?
it's not filibuster. It's going to be discussion and markup. Where they edit the bills. So they amend them or whatever, change them a little bit. Then it moves to the blank of the House or Senate for debate. What's that word?
Floor.
Floor. Yep. Of the House, Senate for debate and voting. All bills may be blank into law. Signed by the president.
Sign.
Signed. What's another word for rejected?
And then veto.
Vetoed. Not pick this one up. Or what's the other thing that the president may do? If he doesn't veto it, he might
Sign it.
we already did that one. Maybe signed into law or vetoed, or what's the other one? After so many days, pocket vetoed. Okay. Pocket vetoed. All right. Questions. We have 2 more pages of unit 2 to finish. I'm going to stop the share. Okay. And I'm going to